If you're in your 30s or you're about to enter your 30s, you listen up because you might feel a little bit behind.
You might feel a little bit scared.
But you're serious about becoming the most successful, confident, beautiful, and elevated version of yourself. This video is going to be a blueprint. Take it from your big sister who is in her late 30s, and there are lessons that I wish I knew
in my 20s, in my early 30s.
Because let's be so for real, your 30s will be the decade where you either level up fast, or you're going to create your dream life, or you keep repeating the same cycles that you've done in your 20s. The cycles that
hold you back,
always starting over but never actually making any freaking progress. Career, relationships, weight loss, creating the body of your dreams. This isn't about feeling pressure in your 30s. This is about cultivating your power. And how you're going to do that? With the mindset, the habits, and the decisions that separate the women that build their dream life in their 30s from the ones who just talk about it. So if you're ready to stop waiting and start leading, start creating the dream freaking life that you want, becoming the best version of yourself that you know you can be, and make your 30s literally the best time yet, then this is for you. And the most important lesson is at the end. This was the lesson that literally shifted everything for me, that made me lose weight, that made me more money.
Leave my horrible job of 5 years that I had that I was just so miserable in.
And move to Berlin, leave everything behind, and start a new life. So make sure to watch to the end to find out what lesson that is. Let's get into it. Lesson number 1 is you can reinvent yourself every day. You can literally decide to be someone new today. After watching this video, tomorrow. For example, if you're a content creator, you can just decide to create different content. You don't have to be stuck in a niche. Don't stay stuck. Reinvention is always possible. You can just decide to have different eating habits tomorrow. You can just decide to wear different clothes, to have different makeup, to style your hair differently, to hang out with different people, to have different values in your life. You are not set in stone. And if you're not happy with what you're currently doing, how you're currently showing up for yourself, the relationship that you have, you can change everything. Just because you made one decision or you maybe liked one thing back in the day doesn't mean you have to still like it. Maybe you were used to like your job and now you don't like it anymore. Maybe you're used to like your partner and now you don't like that partner anymore. Maybe you used to like the kind of clothes that you were wearing and now you don't like it anymore. You can just decide to be chic. You can just decide to wear bold eyeshadow. Listen to your authentic voice. What are you drawn to? What are you not happy with in your life? Really do a little life audit. You don't have to wait until January to do a life audit. You don't have to wait until Monday or the first of the month to do a life audit. You can literally do it now after this video. Look at what you like, what you don't like, and what would you like to change. What things on Pinterest are you drawn to? If you really struggle to find maybe your own identity, I have a whole video on how to reinvent yourself, so go watch that. The next thing is super important, and I wish I would have started so much earlier with that, but I just had no interest in it. I was not really focused on it. I didn't really care about it, to be honest, and that is money and finances. When you're in your early 20s, probably none of you have money unless you already come from a wealthy background. But if you just come from a middle class background, all your friends are probably in the same circle. None of you have really like a lot of money, so it's all pretty even. But when you get older and people start to have jobs and careers, that changes, and you suddenly feel like,
oh, my friends make that kind of money, or those friends make this little money.
And you kind of evaluate like, what is it that you actually want? I'm sorry, I don't want to go traveling and stay in a hostel anymore. That was great when I was 22. Now I'm in my late 30s. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to have an up-leveled experience. And here's the thing. First of all, for you girlies, it's okay to want to have money. It's okay to build wealth for you. It's okay to want to have nice things. There is no shame around this. So don't feel like just because you want to have more, you want to up-level financially, that's a bad thing. That's often a mindset that we get learned, that
don't get a big hand, you need to be modest,
other kind of stuff. You don't. If you want to be rich, work on becoming rich. So what you really want to do is you want to become financially literate. You want to learn about finances. You want to learn about investing. This is not just for the boys. This is also for the girls. You want to be independent with your money. I'm really not about soft life and have a man take care of yourself and provide. You are the provider of your own life. You are the provider for yourself. And it is so friggin' badass when women make a lot of money. But you need to allow yourself your desires. Maybe you don't want to make a lot of money, and that's fine. But if you do, that's okay. Don't feel shame about it. People just want to keep you small. So what I really want you to understand as soon as possible is to start building wealth. You don't need to make a lot of money in your job to already start investing a little bit. But the money that you save in a saving account, that will just lose so much value. I did not know about any of this when I entered my 30s. I learned this really late. And that also had to do with the people that I started to meet, because if you only hang out in your circles that you know from school and no one really developed further and no one really up-leveled, you will not up-level either. Try to hang out with people who are on a higher level and they will automatically push you upwards. You want to become better. You want to learn more. So when it comes to up-leveling your life and up-leveling yourself, it's also about up-leveling your circle. Don't go into debt. Don't spend a lot of money on clothes and on like all these sales that you see from like Arcade and all these shops.
Stop spending so much money on stuff.
Spend more money on experiences. Learn about financial literacy. Start to listen to podcasts like Women That Invest. I don't really resonate with finance bros. There are lots of accounts for women to learn about investing. Lesson number 3 was so crucial for me. I do talk a lot about weight loss and about eating healthy. There's a big part of my content because it is so important. And the lesson that I really learned in my 30s is about nutrition. It's about what you eat has an effect of how you feel. And focusing on feeling your best is way more important and way more beneficial for your life than just wanting to look skinny or wanting to lose weight and be fit. It's totally fine to have the goal of fitting into certain clothes, but it is way more important to focus on how you feel, because if you starve yourself, you're not going to feel your best. You're going to be depressed. Constantly overeating, constantly binging, constantly just indulging. This is not going to make you feel your best. What you eat has a huge effect on how you feel. When you eat a lot of candy, a lot of sugar, that has an effect on your body, that has an effect on your metabolic system. Spikes your blood sugar, then it crashes, you feel fatigued, you feel down. If you overeat, you feel really tired because your body needs so much energy to digest. All of that is not going to make you feel your best. So if you really just focus on feeling your best, that means not under eating and not constantly overeating. If you want to lose weight, yes, you need to be in a calorie deficit and you need to be a little bit hungry, but it's more about thinking about future self eating. Like, how would my future self eat? What portion size? Watching portion size is groundbreaking for me, guys. I have so many videos on weight loss and how to eat properly. One major lesson that I learned is how food affects your mood, feeling your best eating. Focusing on that rather than eating to be skinny. The next thing that I really learned, turn your vision board into an action board. Nothing will happen without action. You can sit and manifest. You will not manifest anything if you're not taking action. Two-step process. You need to have a vision and it needs to be clear. If it's very vague, like
want to have more money, want to be slimmer,
that's not a vision. This year was the first time I actually created a vision board, and it is so powerful when I look at it every day. Yes, I might not create everything on this vision board this year, but that doesn't mean it cannot be created next year or the year after. It's still going to be on my vision board next year. Your brain needs constant reminders of who you're working towards to becoming. And then you need to take action. Yes, you need to actually put in the effort. I feel like it looks so easy on social media oftentimes.
I just ate a little bit healthier and then I lost 10 kilos in 10 days.
Bullshit like that. Or
I created a few TikToks and then I blew up and now I have 1 million followers.
this is not really what happens. Mainly, there's a lot of effort behind success. So you have to make sure that you take action towards what you want. No one will come and save you. And that brings me to my next lesson. Discomfort, being uncomfortable, and cringe is the currency of growth, is the currency of success. You need to embrace it. You need to embrace to be cringy. You need to embrace to feel discomfort. That's why you probably won't take action, because it feels uncomfortable, because it's embarrassing, because you have all these thoughts about, oh, what other people think, oh, blah, blah. Who honestly gives a shit? You need to listen to what you want and focus on that. You need to be uncomfortable to do something that you have not done before, to up level. You're not going to grow in your comfort zone. That's what a comfort zone is. It just feels cozy and comfortable. Become uncomfortable in order to become a different person who has different habits, who has different routines, in order to become your future self. Your future self is not you right now. You have to grow into that person, and in order to grow into that person is by already showing up as that person. Identity is what you need to embrace. Not just changing habits, not just changing routines, not just doing, but action out of identity, action out of being that person already. That is life-changing. That will propel you forward like nothing else, and that will make it stick. That will stop you from self-sabotaging, because you are already that person. Yes, it's going to be cringy. Know that other people see you try, but guess what? They are not trying. People who are haters online, for example, people who are like, man, you're so cringy. Who are they? They're not doing anything. It's so easy to sit on your fat ass at home and judge others. But it's actually pathetic, because who are you to judge others? Like, you're not doing anything in your life. And you always have to remember that people who are judgy, people who judge you for trying to go after what you truly want, to live your best life, these people are not happy. These people are not content. These people are freaking frustrated. Happy, content people, they will cheer you on. They'll be like, good for you, girl. They will never
look at you and be like, oh, you're so cringy.
People who are like this are extremely unhappy, insecure people. The next thing that I learned that was absolutely life-changing for me was learning about perfectionism. I did not realize that I was a perfectionist. Perfectionists for me were always people that are really good in school because they always want to do everything perfectly. But that is not what perfectionism is. Discomfort and cringe is the currency of growth. Perfectionism is the enemy of growth, enemy of your dreams. This is what I learned was really holding me back, is trying to waiting is such a perfectionism tendency until you feel ready, until the stars align better, until whatever your brain is telling you and you need to wait for, you definitely do not need to wait for. You don't need more money, you don't need a better camera to do YouTube, you don't need anything else to just use your freaking phone and record something. This is what I really learned about working in startups, is perfectionism is the killer of your dreams. In startups, people are not perfectionists. People just put stuff out there. I worked in a vegan startup and they sold this like vegan food product to Aldi. That food product did not exist yet. They have not created that food product. They did not have anything. They just had an idea. So they basically just sold an idea to a huge supermarket chain. But they were just like, we'll figure it out. That is the mindset of successful people, is you're gonna figure it out. It's gonna happen somehow. We're gonna make it happen. This self-trust is self-confidence. You have your own back. And perfectionism is the opposite of that. That is holding you back. That is keeping you stuck. Because what does it even mean to be perfect? What does it even look like? Your brain doesn't even know, because it's just this weird idea of I'm not ready. It's just the fear. It's just fear that you don't want to put yourself out there. You don't want to fail. And why do you not want to fail? Because you don't want to look cringy and embarrassing to others. Because if there were no other people in the world, you would not care about it. You would not care about failure. You would just keep trying. Think about babies who start to learn to walk and they fall on their ass so many times until they get it. And this is the mindset that you have to start to cultivate as your future self, as someone who wants to be successful. You need to embrace failure as just part of it. Like, falling on your ass is just part of the learning process. Better done than perfect. A day doesn't need to look perfect. Your eating doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. The next thing that I learned and that I really realized, and the lesson that was super helpful for me, also in building a lot of confidence, because you're going to be a confident freaking girly in your 30s, is how people perceive you is not in your control. And if you want to try to control it, guess what you're doing? You're giving remote control of your life, of your emotions, of how you show up to other people. Do you want that? I don't think so. How you are being perceived is not in your control, and that is super tough, because we always have the desire to be liked by everybody. You will not be liked by everybody, okay? Just forget about this. It's not gonna happen. What you need to be worried about is being yourself and being a magnet to your people, because your people will like you. And that means you don't actually want to be liked by everybody, because you want to be a filter just for your people. You don't want to attract all these like randos that are not meant for you. You go to a party and then there are these people and everybody will have a different perception of you. And you can just try to be the best person ever, and there will still be people who don't like you. How we perceive others has really nothing to do with that person. It has everything to do with yourself. You're just a blank canvas. People project, and you're doing this as well. I'm doing this as well. We always project our own insecurities, our own belief system, our own experiences, our own backstory to other people, to those blank canvases. And people trigger something in us, something positive or something negative. But it's always a mirror to yourself. If someone's mean to you, if someone's trying to control you, if someone's trying to change you, it's all about them. If I say something that triggers you, that's not my problem. That is something that you have to deal with. Of course, you want to be a kind person. You know if you're kind or if you're not kind. But if you're just being authentically yourself and you're just speaking your mind and you trigger other people, that is not your problem. That's their problem. Then what I learned when it comes to dating, pretty much I've been with my boyfriend throughout my whole 30s. This is like literally the longest relationship I've had, right? I'm engaged now. And here's what I learned compared to my relationships that I had in my 20s. Love doesn't feel hard. Relationships are not supposed to feel hard. Yes, this can be passionate sometimes when things don't work, but it's draining and it's often toxic. Passion is not necessarily always a sign of great love. What you want to focus on is alignment, and that comes to your friendships and your romantic relationship. Because when something is aligned, it just works out. It just feels easy. You don't have to question everything. I remember when me and my boyfriend started dating, I never had to question, oh, does he like me? Does he not like me? It was just so easy. And I never had this before. I always had to question myself because it was always this game. If something feels really difficult and there's a lot of challenges and there's constant work and you feel like you're also putting a lot of effort in, it creates a feeling of frustration. It's not the right thing. What is right for you, you will never have to force. Don't try to force something. That is always your sign. It's not right with anything. It needs to be more of a flow. This doesn't mean we don't have challenges. Challenges are there for growth. But you know what I mean when it feels forced, when you try to make it work. It's not supposed to be working. The next lesson, especially for my people-pleasing girlies out there, you are not here to make other people feel comfortable. You're not living other people's lives. You're living your life. I have a whole video on why you need to be more selfish, especially as a woman. Please go watch this if you have people-pleasing tendencies. You are here to live your life, to listen to your spark, and this will trigger other people because people want to keep you small. People don't want you to up-level, especially people close to you, oftentimes, because that is a threat to their life. That is a threat to their identity. That puts a mirror onto them. You really stepping into your light will cast a light onto their shadow. And there will be people who will support you or will love it. There will be people who won't. And I think they will still come around eventually. But if not, who cares? Let them go. If they're family members and you can't let them go, just have boundaries. And always remember, it's all their own projection. It's not about you. I believe that women should be a lot more selfish because being more selfish means having self-respect for your future self, for who you truly want to be. And this does not mean you're going to be a bitch. And now to the last lesson that I believe is the most important one and that has helped incredibly, literally changed my whole life. And I learned this lesson on a podcast. This was my entry to personal development. It was the Unfuck Your Brain podcast by Cara Lowenthal. That was literally the very first time I heard about this concept and also really got into personal development, about mindset, about how the mind works. I was just not completely oblivious to this. So here's a lesson that I learned in that podcast. Your thoughts create your feelings. What? This was so empowering for me because I was so stuck in victim mentality and I was one of these really judgy people that was always like,
everybody lives their best lives, but not me. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
kind of bitter. This changed everything for me because it made me take responsibility for my own actions, for my own results, for my own feelings. When I realized that my thoughts create my feelings. So the way that I think creates how I feel. That was life altering. That realization hit me to the core of my body. I could not believe it. I was like,
what do you mean the way I think creates how I feel?
No, this person makes me feel a certain way. No, this circumstance, this job makes me feel a certain way. No, the thoughts about that person, the thoughts about whatever is creating your feeling. And then I learned something from a life coach. She also has a podcast called The Life Coach School. Brooke Castillo, she's a really famous life coach. And she has created a system to kind of break it down. It's called The Model. I'm going to write it down here. So basically what her model kind of says or lays out is that you have a circumstance, something happens, and then you have a thought about that circumstance. That thought creates a feeling, creates an emotion in your body, and that emotion creates an action. You do something or you don't do something, which is also an action, and that creates a result. So what this means is that the thought that you have creates a result. You cannot change the circumstance. The circumstance is always how it is, but you can change everything. You can put down any result that you want. Let's say I want to make X amount of money or I want to lose X amount of weight. What is the thought that you will need in order to create the feeling and the action to create that result? So maybe the action could be eat in a calorie deficit every day, work out X amount of days, whatever. Then how do I need to feel in order to make that happen? Committed. I need to feel determined when you do it no matter what. What do I need to think in order to feel that way? Maybe a thought could be I want to make my future self proud. I don't want to let myself down again. You need to find a thought that creates the feeling and then the action and then the result. And this is also how you can determine what you actually think. So maybe you're feeling really sad about something and something happened. Let's say a discussion with my boss or something is a circumstance. Circumstance is always a fact. It's never an opinion or something. It's always a factual situation. So discussion with my boss or meeting with my boss, and then you feel anxious. What is the thought? What is the thought that makes you feel anxious? Really understand your brain, how you feel, why you feel that way, what you want to create in life, and what you need to think in order to create that, because your thoughts create your results. Not the circumstance, your thoughts. Everything is down to mindset. Everything is down to how you think. This is the power that you have in this life, is your consciousness, is your thinking. And if you truly understand that, your 30s are gonna be absolute friggin' amazing and you're gonna achieve everything that you want. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to watch this video next because I think it's gonna be super helpful for you, and I'll speak to you soon.